have a target date in mind? Would you like to see that fight happen, or is it still too soon?
No, I don't know. Yeah, I want to do something. So hopefully he's healthy and we can do it.
We just get back onto the judges' scoring thing, right? Obviously, you talked about Crispy and all. If you look at the scoring for Sass and Castile, Paul Sass likes to work off his back with an aggressive submission guy. 2 of the 3 judges gave that round Sass players. He got all 5 heel hooks. Yeah, the first round.
Yeah, but you got to go for damage. Fucking heel hook. I haven't seen somebody pull a heel hook off in a long time. Heel hooks don't. 1998 shit. You ain't pulling off heel hooks like you used to. Probably the last one was that fucking tank from Brazil. Yeah. And still, when you go for that shit, you get your head smashed in. You know what I mean? Guys aren't pulling off heel hooks like they used to. And Castillo was doing damage. That fight changed on that slam. He hurt him bad with that slam. He never really recovered from that slam. He took a lot of damage. He got punished the whole round. You're giving points for submissions, attempts, and you got to get points for getting out of them. So if a guy doesn't get submitted, it counters every point that the guy would have got going for submission, right?
So speaking of Paul Harris, that kind of leads into Alan Belcher, because Belcher beat him and Alan Belcher going into this fight with Bisping. Where do you see the winner of that fight?
It's a big fight for both guys. It keeps both guys relevant in that title hunt.
Not to get too far into the TRT things. I know it's just, you're just talking about it, but was there something specific that changed your mind? When did you really adjust?
A couple of situations that changed my mind about it. You know me, I'm always fucking telling you what I think anyway, but without getting into it, I don't think I have to. When you see guys coming in that look like they're on steroids, yet they have a TRT exemption, I don't know enough about it, because everybody that we talk about it, like I said, you can talk to 4 of the smartest, most educated, rational people about it, and they'll be split on what the answers are. Then you start talking about ratios, and then you start talking about, what's the other one? There's ratio, and then there's some other.
T2A.
What is it?
T2A and
Testosterone.
Yeah. What? This is too complicated. This is bullshit. You know what I mean? There's all these little goofy loopholes in it. I don't like it. If you're tested during your training camp, there's a number that you should be at.
Yeah.
That better be where your fucking number is when you get tested.
Do you think it's just guys that have TUEs, or do you feel like you need to test maybe everybody, or at least not, if not everybody, at least increase?
I think the guys, do I think the guys could use it without asking for the exemption? Of course I do. But I think it's a lot easier to get caught. Because those things that they look for are all wacky, the numbers that they're looking for. So I'm no fucking scientist, man. And every time we try to talk about this stuff, I sit there and my head just spins. And I say, this is bullshit. If it's this fucking complicated and this many people don't understand it, it can't be good. It can't be good.
Have you had a situation where it's like threatened the card or threatened the fight or something?
Have we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have. We've had situations where a fight has been canceled because of it. Yes, we have.
In relation to the BADA testing, would the UFC be footing the bill for every fighter, or would the fighters have to take that as their own personal?
For BADA? Yeah, we're not doing that.
No, but in theory, in the press conference, someone mentioned that every fighter, if they went under voluntary testing, is it something they would have? I believe it's in the region of 6,000.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is part of their medicals. If that was part of the rules, they'd have to do it. But the way that it works now under the athletic commission does all the testing. So, I mean, it's a very complicated issue. And everybody likes to talk shit when I say, we're the most regulated sport. We're the fucking most regulated sport out there. It's a fact.
So will the UFC be testing these fighters themselves? Will it come up from a card?
Yeah. If you ask for a TU, again, I said this yesterday at a Q&A for fans. Okay, just so that you guys understand this. It's how I feel, and it's what I'm working on. What I said was, if you're on this testosterone replacement therapy, I'm coming for you. We're going to be testing you and I'm working with the athletic commissions. I haven't said anything to the athletic commissions. I'm going to make it very clear that I am not a fan of testosterone replacement therapy.
Please, another subject. I'm French, and 2 years ago, France could be the new place for UFC. But in our country, things are not easy at all. And still not allowed. So
We've been working hard there. We've been working hard in France. We've spent a lot of money down in France to get it regulated, and I think we've made a lot of progress. We're getting there, bro. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We've been working on France for 2-3 years now.
Is Gary Cook involved in that as well?
Yes.
Like European stuff.
But we've been working on this way before Gary.
Where would you say you made the more progress? France or like Amsterdam?
France.
Is Italy still going to come on board, Diane?
Watch and see.
Is Italy still a priority?
Yep. It is. We're working on Italy too. Everything is a priority for us, man. It's crazy.
How about the Brazil office you mentioned? Do you have a city for that and a head yet selected? Or
We do. We've hired somebody. I don't know if we've announced any of that yet, but yeah. Yeah. It's coming.
announcement soon?
Yep.
What about China and Macau? What's the aftermath of sort of China and Macau?
We put, from what I understand, we put on the best event in the history of Macau. So through that, we got a bigger deal. So we're Macau's going to be great.
Dana, do you think the anti-charisma of Gunnar Nelson is going to make him very happy?
The anti-charisma.
His answers were just people who were laughing.
Yeah, I think that you know what's interesting about him when you watch him fight. He's so unorthodox, man. His hands are down by his waist, yet he's fast and explosive, and he hits you from these crazy angles. I like that he went 3 rounds tonight. He's a young guy, just got into the UFC. It's good to let him get that experience, and he's got to get some more killer instinct too.
From a jiu-jitsu fan point of view, I know his coach even said a matchup with Damian Maia would be a dream matchup too. High level jiu-jitsu guys, but he may be a couple of fights away from
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't rush the kid into. You know, he's a young kid. He just had his first 3-rounder in the UFC. Second fight here. He's got plenty of time. He's got nothing but time. Sometimes you get somebody that just blows onto the scene like a BJ Penn and rips through everybody. And if you ask BJ these days, he'll tell you that he probably got the title shot too fast. You know what I mean? Against Jens.
Do you like the idea of keep building him on UK cards? And he hasn't fought in the US yet. Is there any thought into that?
Well, we're going to take these guys wherever. We're gonna, we had Pickett over in the US, just fought in the US recently. We'll get Manuel over there fighting. We'll get him. Yeah, we're moving guys all around.
Quick question about UFC in Sweden. You came last April. You're coming again this April. Do you think that could be one that would be set in stone, or maybe every April you come?
It could. Yeah. Sweden's been nice.
We like that. We sell tickets.
Yeah, I love Sweden. Yeah, Sweden's been good. The answer to that is yes.
Dana, 2 questions. The first one is, how pleasing is it for you? You mentioned the box office success tonight, and merchandising and all that kind of thing. Lennox Lewis fought Oliver McCall here in 1994, and you outstripped that, and that was a massive fight at the time. How does that make you?
It's awesome, man. No, I love when we go into places, and a lot of these places around the world, we hold the records. We're either number 1 or number 2 at most of these venues. So I love it. Obviously, we break records. I have a good night.
And how much have you been pissing yourself today, laughing at Tito Ortiz and to Cyborg Santos and the video that went out virally earlier?
I'd be a liar if I said I didn't watch it a couple times. It was like a Saturday Night Live skit. It was interesting. I don't want to smash Tito or, a little Tito, but I'll give Tito some advice. I'll give him a couple tips. When promoting a fight, talk about both fighters, not just yours. Don't confuse her with the girl that doesn't fight for you. He'll get better. He'll get better.
Do you have any understanding of what happened there? I mean, you wanted Cyborg to go fight in Invicta, and now she's going to fight in Invicta, right? So,
So we were going to sign her. We were going to sign her to a contract, and then we were going to have her fight in Invicta, which means
you pay for it?
we'd pay all the bills for her to fight in Invicta.
So you would pay her salary in Invicta?
She'd be under a UFC contract with all the perks and benefits of being a UFC fighter, and would fight in Invicta. So instead of doing that, they chose to not do that and fight.
I'm struggling to understand it. I mean, do you get it at all? Like what the goal is, or the logic, or you have any insight on it?
If you can make logic out of that whole fucking situation, you're a better man than I.
Do you think it was her choice, or was it?
Huh?
Do you think it was her choice to do that, or was it a management's choice?
That was a management choice. Yeah. It was a management decision.
You, in the past, have said you don't watch Bellator MMA, but
Right.
out there a couple weeks in, they're pulling 800,000, 750 a show. I mean, are you starting
710.
710 this last week? They've had a couple 800s. Are you? I mean, are you watching now? Is it something that's getting on your radar? I mean, is this kind of settling into that second
I barely
place?
have enough time to watch the shit that we're producing and the stuff that we do. You know, if you look at all the stuff that we do from leading up to this fight to promoting the fight, plus the Ultimate Fighter doing all that stuff, and believe me, it's all I do is watch shit all week long. But I will tell you this: that punk over there that works in their PR department, the entire last season of The Ultimate Fighter, all this guy did was send ratings around to all the media. And I know he sent it to you and probably half the people here, you know, gloating about, you know, we were on Friday nights, when we were on Friday on FX, gloating about our numbers and all this shit. Well, he isn't gloating now, is he? How about this, you jerk off? Our ratings on Friday night on our reality show on the worst season in tough history are pulling bigger numbers than your live event. Pulled bigger numbers than your live event. Okay? And then yesterday, you know, they pulled 710 or 719 or whatever they did. 18 to 49-year-old males was a season low, double digits down like 26%, and males 18. So then what he does is he puts out a release. I got your release. I saw it. You know, and he tries to spin it. He put out a release that says, the reason we did such bad numbers was because the NBA did great numbers. The fuck does that mean? What are you talking about? That doesn't even make sense. Yeah, so because the NBA did great numbers, you did bad numbers. When we were on Spike, we beat the NBA. We beat the NBA when we were on Spike. Research it, look it up. It's a fact. You know, I don't have a beef with Bellator, Spike, or any of those guys. The guy who works in their PR department's a dick, and he knows what he tried to do all last season of The Ultimate Fighter. Well, now he's got to sit there, and I bet this season isn't too fun for him. That he's not having fun now. Our show, all the things that he talked about, The Ultimate Fighter on Friday nights, pulled higher numbers than his live fights are pulling on Thursday nights.
Dana, is the greatest thing about that new series, though, the progression of a group of men who are mature, living in a house together as athletes, rather than a big frat house? And that documentary nature, isn't that where it's really moved on as a program?
You know what the reality is? Every season of The Ultimate Fighter is going to be different. There's going to be different coaches and different people in the house, and every season is going to be different. The one thing that is consistent about the show is when we have a great season with great coaches, the thing bounces right back and does well. People want to watch it when it does well. Yes, I like the tweaks that we made, the new style of shooting it, and I like the families watching the fights in the house. You know?
Any news on Eddie Alvarez? Any movement?
I don't know anything about it. Those guys are involved in that. You know my position on Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez should be paid. Again, understand, guys, you're not dealing with Bellator. Bellator doesn't even exist anymore. Do you think Bjork is running fucking Bellator?
She's in Iceland.
Do you think Bjork is running Bellator? Do you really think that? There's no way in hell. Viacom is running that company. They're a multi-billion-dollar fucking business. They're one of the largest, most powerful media companies on earth. Pay Eddie Alvarez what he's supposed to be paid. They have the right to Eddie Alvarez. It's in his deal. But if you look at the way that this thing goes down, Eddie Alvarez paid his dues there. He honored his deal. He honored his contract with them. When the contract is up and you have the right to match, that's